Good evening and welcome everyone to the Cardfellas live show here on YouTube. If you're getting us on the podcast, every Wednesday morning or Wednesday evening it is. Wednesday evening, 10:30 p.m. Central Time. We're on live on YouTube and today we're talking basketball. And Chris, I think we should probably put a parental advisory sticker on the YouTube video because some of the cards we're going to show, man, they're like It's getting a little saucy.
These
are beautiful cards. It's card porn, man. These are some pretty cards. And I was texting you throughout the day. Man, this is gonna be a fun show.
Yeah, it's basically our childhood and the cards that we missed because Topps wasn't in the game. Kind of rolled into one box. So very cool. I know people are geeking out. In the Topps baseball sets over the last few years. They put the throwback cards in there. The 85 set was in 2020, and last year was 86, and now this year's 87 with the Woody borders. So people just geek out over this stuff, and this is a box loaded with stuff that people that are in their 40s are going to geek out over. And I think that's a large part of our audience is so many people kind of jump back into the hobby here over the last few years. So this is going to be a fun box. And really the cool thing about this, and we'll talk about it later, and not too much later, but there's a lot of value in the box as well.
100%. So without any further ado, I'm going to let you reveal what we're talking about today.
Yeah, so we'll just pull up the graphic here just so you can see the box and kind of what we're talking about here. It's the 1993 Topps Archives basketball. And this was put out, 1992 as Topps was getting back into the basketball game. Again, we go back, this was the junk wax era. This was the time where everybody who was anybody who could print cards, they were doing it. But what's cool about this set, and, I did a little bit of math. There's 24 packs in a box, 14 cards in the pack. 336 cards in the box, 150 cards in the set. So you should get 2 of each card if the box is collated decently. And it seems like from what I've seen, it kind of has been. I've heard of people pulling 2 or 3 Jordans in a box, pretty normal. But I think what's really exciting about this, especially when we're talking about the junk wax era where some people claim that there's millions of each card made. With this set, the word on the street is Topps called this a limited run product. They came out with their normal product later on, so they only produced 10,000 cases of this. When we say that, we go, wow, 10,000 cases, that is a lot of cards. And it is. We go do the math here, 10,000 cases, there's 24 boxes in a case. So that comes out to, and then 14 packs, or 24 boxes with 24 packs, 14 cards in the pack. I did the math. That comes out to 8,064,000 cards. We go, holy cow, that's a lot of cards. There's 150 cards in the set. So basically that breaks down to 53,760 of each card.
Yeah.
So when we're talking junk wax era, that's unheard of. I know some people have been doing some analyses of like the 2022 Topps that's out right now, and they're saying that maybe there's almost 1 million Wander Franco rookies out there, and over 1 million of each card, and you count the parallels that are out there. So we're talking about a junk wax era set. That the printing on these, you're talking about 53,000 of each card. When we get later on in the show, we're going to talk about those pop reports. And I think when you see that, you're going to go, wow, yeah, this definitely is a limited run product. So when we get into the prices, and we can do that right now, you can pick up the wax boxes of these right now for, $90, $80, $70. If you're really paying attention, can snipe some auctions. You may even get it for better than that. And I think as we get into these summer months, it's typically kind of dog days for sales on eBay. You may even be able to get a better deal. So 24,000 boxes, that's all that was printed.
Right.
And like I said, the numbers shake out that this is a pretty limited run set. I know you and I'm going to be doing a PSA reveal soon in the show. we sent a bunch of 1990 Fleer basketball in, and those boxes basically sell for the same amount right now as this box.
Yeah.
And there's like almost 40,000 Michael Jordan cards out of that set alone that have been graded. So when we start getting into the pop report, you're going to see how much value is in this set.
Yes. And the set, as you mentioned, 150 cards in it. Topps also did a parallel set, a factory sealed set with the gold label on it. So that's different from the box, the wax box, but same cards, same set. With one addition. We'll talk about that coming up. But talking about the wax box, like you said, that's one of my saved searches on eBay. So I'm looking at buying one of these boxes, and I saw a couple go for about $65 plus shipping. And so that's the range I'm looking for. There's a couple that are in there for about 75, 80. I still, like you mentioned, they're going to come down. But 150 cards. That included 139 player cards. The 11 cards at the beginning of the set were draft picks from the 13 years or 11 years, really, that Topps was out of the basketball business. And so if you're watching on YouTube or if you're listening to us on the podcast, I do recommend going and watching this video because the cards we're going to show you are so fantastic. And you're going to look at them and go, wow, I went down memory lane with these. There were some cards that I hadn't seen before. So look these cards up. I will tell you, you will not be disappointed. You'll probably end up buying some. That's just what I'm saying with these cards. So the draft pick cards, they listed out the draft picks from those years. So you get to relive the Michael Jordan going third in the draft pick, and Portland fans can go, oh, Sam Bowie. But then it gets into the 139 player cards. And what they did was Topps utilized the rookie year image of the player coupled with the baseball card design of that year. So that's, to me, was what made it so spectacular. So the first year that they came out was 1981. And so think about that being the Cal Ripken Jr. Rookie year. Or no, I'm sorry. This was like the Tim Raines traded rookie cards. And so they had Isaiah. That was Isaiah Thomas's rookie card, which we're looking at right now. It also had Mark Aguirre, Danny Ainge, which we're seeing right now. But it had the design of the 81 baseball set. And this card right here, the next year of 1982, this card gave me, oh my gosh, I need to buy this card right away. Dominique Wilkins, Hawks rookie back in 1982. This was the Cal Ripken rookie year. Chris, this card spoke to me. I was a Neek fan. I think you were a Neek fan too. But man, how cool was this card? And I had not seen this until I started doing research, or I hadn't paid attention to it enough to go, oh, that's what that card was from, or which set it was from. But man, this card is cool.
Yeah, the human highlight reel. And, it's cool. You've got the gentleman ahead of him with, the stars and stripes. I think that's the Washington Bullets jersey there with the stars on the shorts. But really, the kind of that swoosh in the design, yes, with the kind of those colors that just scream 1980s. It is an incredibly cool card. I'm sorry about popping ahead there on the photo. I did want to mention a couple of things in the 81 before we go to 82. You talked about Isaiah Thomas. He's the only Hall of Famer from that draft. But we showed that Danny Ainge card as well. Mm-hmm. And Danny Ainge actually had a baseball card.
He did.
1981 baseball set. So he's the only one in this entire set that actually had a real card in the set that's shown in the archives. So
just a different sport.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. He was in the real baseball set and ended up, I think, wisely going and playing basketball instead of baseball. But
he did well.
He did well, yes. He made the correct choice. This 82 set, you got the Neek card. James Worthy was in there as well. Those were the two Hall of Famers from that draft. Worthy was the first pick, and Neek was the third pick. And then I think Ricky Pierce was in that draft as well, and he's got a card in this set as well. So, but yeah, the 82 design is super cool, and that Dominique Wilkins, just with those colors and everything, is it just screams 1982.
Yeah, and as we go on, the sets get even cooler and the cards get even cooler. Here's a Clyde Drexler from 1983 that has that iconic 83 image inside the in the bottom right of the card with the action photo. That year had him and Byron Scott. That if you're listening to this on the podcast, I cannot stress this enough. Go look at these cards. It's the Tony Gwynn, Ryan Sandberg, Wade Boggs rookie year. So just a gorgeous looking card. And like I said, it only gets better from there, in my opinion. And now you go to the card of all cards for this set. And there it is.
Yeah, you got the MJ from the 84 set. In 83, Drexler was the only Hall of Famer. But I know Sampson had a card. He was the first pick of that draft, and Byron Scott also had a card. But in 84, you've got Olajuwon, who's in this. He was the number one pick. Jordan was the third pick, as you mentioned earlier, in something very similar to 1989, which we talked about last week. You had Olajuwon, who was a great player. Then you had a major, well, I shouldn't say Sam Bowie was a major bust, but he was a bust compared to the guys picked behind him. And then Jordan went third. Barkley is the other Hall of Famer out of that draft, and John Stockton. And I was watching that match golf tonight, and Barkley was doing the commentary, and he is just he is a character, man. That guy's just going to live in infamy forever. Just he's a legendary personality.
National treasure. Yeah, he did play some pretty good basketball too in his time, for people who are just tuning into Charles Barkley now. But this 84 year, this screams Don Mattingly, right? The Don Mattingly rookie card and the Topps traded cards from that set too. But this is a good opportunity also to talk about the back of the card. And it had the archives, very distinct looked. All of the cards had the same back. While the fronts were different, the backs were similar. And they had the complete collegiate record. It had NBA record. It had the stats on it. So it reminded me a little bit of Stadium Club, kind of like the Stadium Club. I'm going to sneeze here, so I'll let you talk.
Yeah, that was one thing that we didn't actually show in the slides, was that these packs, they came in a box that looked just like Stadium Club. They are in packs just like what we saw like in 1991, 1992 Stadium Club. It's that kind of cello that's folded, if you can remember from those early 90s Stadium Club packs. And that kind of gets, I guess it's one of the problems with this set. I see this box, if you're looking to buy wax, and we just published a show saying don't waste your money on packs. But if you're just like, man, I really want to spend some money on some junk wax era, this is the thing to buy.
Absolutely.
But one thing that I will caution you on, like those Stadium Club baseball cards, there is some bricking with these. And if you see that, there's gloss on the card, so there's some bricking. So just kind of keep that in mind if you're out shopping. But they are basically a Stadium Club design as far as the way the cards feel and the way they come out of the packs.
Yeah, that's a good call. There's a little bit of gloss on those cards, so it's going to be sticky if it's been sitting in the wrong environment for too long, or maybe even the right one too. So yeah, buyer beware on that one.
Yeah, they're 30 years old, so it's going to be somewhat hard to find them in perfect condition.
Yeah. Again, it just keeps getting better. 1985 was a great year for baseball. We just talked about, we did a podcast about our favorite 85 cards and rookies, and we talked about the 85 tops. And here's Karl Malone and a iconic card and great image of him jumping feet high, jumping high, Jazz logo right there. This was a great year. You had Malone, you had Ewing, Reggie Miller, Chris Mullin, Joe Dumars, Spud Webb, just matches the Kirby Puckett, Roger Clemens, Dwight Gooden year, right? I mean, that card right there, just, again, I didn't see this card very much, Did my research, found it. I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
this is cool. The Patrick Ewing one is cool as well.
I think what's interesting about this Karl Malone card, you kind of hit on all the big boppers from this year. There was 4 Hall of Famers drafted this year. But look at the crowd. It looks like almost like a COVID crowd back there. Almost no one watching the game.
Good point.
Lots of empty seats, but super cool shot of Karl Malone in midair there.
Oh, baby. 1986. Horrible year for baseball cards, right? I mean, there weren't any rookies. You had to wait for the traded set. But 1986, Dennis Rodman. Just a cool looking card. Not much from this year, though. Him and Mark Price were about it.
Yeah, not much. It's funny. He is. There's actually 2 other Hall of Famers that were drafted this year, but one of them is Arvydas Sabonis. I don't believe even has a card in this set. The other one is Drazen Petrovic.
Yes.
He was drafted in '86, but stayed in Europe. Didn't come over to the NBA to play until 1989. So when you see his card in this set, he's actually in the 1989. Card design, but Rodman, the only Hall of Famer in the '86 look from this set.
Yeah, and I'll let you talk about this one, Chris, because 1987 baseball was basically, I don't know, I don't say the only thing you bought, but you bought you bought a lot of it. So I'll give 87 to you.
If it was in front of me and it was priced to my liking, it went home with me. And I don't know how many sets of 1987 tops I've bought in the last 3 years, but I feel like maybe I own a large percentage of them. I know there's a lot of them out there, but I own a lot of them. But Scotty, 5th round pick or 5th overall pick in the first round. And I don't think people know this, but he was actually drafted by the Seattle Supersonics. And traded for Olden Polynice. So I would say the Bulls got the upper hand in that one. Reggie Miller was the 11th pick of that draft. So he is also in the 87. David Robinson was actually...
No, hold on. They screwed up on the Reggie Miller one.
Really?
They put Miller in 85. So he should have been in 87, but he has an 85 card.
Wow.
That's one of the things that I read.
All right. So, well, that's a pre-rookie card then.
Yes, technically yes. So he gets that 85 treatment.
Okay,
but he should have the Woody background. But
he was the 11th pick of that draft.
Right.
Horace Grant actually was picked by the Bulls. Both these guys ended up Pippen and Horace Grant ended up playing that 91, 92, 93 three-peat of the Bulls, and then Grant went to Orlando, so he was not around for the second three-peat, but Pippen, of course, was around for both of those. But I think that 87 design, though, when people see it, I mean, everybody loves it. It's just there's nothing else like it, and when you see it, you know what you're looking at. So,
and it's coming to Top Series 2 baseball this year. So you're going to see that now too.
I pulled actually some really cool 1987 designs out of Series 1.
Series 1 as well, for that matter.
One of my favorite cards actually was there's a Frank Thomas that was in there, and it's just like, you know, it almost feels like he belongs there. So it was just it was just one of my favorites. 88 Tops was another set that this is kind of the first set I remember as a kid really going heavy into, and unfortunately there's really not a lot in there, but I remember buying a lot of this stuff. And the 1988 basketball draft was about just as crappy as the baseball set. Mitch Richmond, the only Hall of Famer from the 88 draft. Dan Marley, Danny Manning was the number 1 pick.
Right.
But Dan Marley, the other kind of player of distinction from this set. Or from this season. Not great either one, basketball or baseball. He had the Mark McGwire Rookie Cup card. I think he had a Tom Glavine. I mean that, but again, low demand for that, even in the resurgence of the hobby. This was a baseball set you could find, but not a high demand for Mitch Richmond cards, I would assume. But I will tell you this: I like that Mitch Richmond card. Yeah, I love the design.
So I'm a buyer when it comes to this specific Mitch Richmond card.
For sure.
On to 89. This card right here, again, gave me all the feels, man. David Robinson dunking in a Spurs jersey on a card that is similar to the Ken Griffey Jr. Topps traded card. Again, 89 Topps wasn't all that exceptional when it comes to baseball, but the Topps traded card, everyone knows the Ken Griffey Jr. Topps traded. So when I saw the design of David Robinson, I again was like, my gosh, this card is really, really cool. I had seen this one before, but just again, bringing this back and looking at it again, you see so many cards when you're in the collection. You forget sometimes, what's out there. And then when you reminisce and you look at these cards, you go, man, this was such a good set. This was such a good idea by Topps to do this. And I don't know if in the moment it was appreciated as much as it was now, but really kudos to Topps for doing this. I think this was a really smart idea to incorporate the old look with the new guys and their old pictures. I just think it's brilliant. This David Robinson card was just another example of that.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous card, and kind of getting back to where we started. Like, if you saw this card at a show, you'd be like, "Yeah, I'll buy that." You
Absolutely.
just don't see this stuff around. It's like, where is it?
Yes.
So when you see this kind of stuff out there, it's like it gets you excited, gets you thinking about it. And this was kind of the era of basketball that I just loved.
Right.
What was kind of the late 80s, early 90s. You had the Lakers and the Celtics and the Pistons, and then it went into the Bulls, and the Rockets were really good in that mid 90s era as well. But just, I don't know, it just takes me back.
It does.
Vlade Divac, the other Hall of Famer, Tim Hardaway, a Hall of Famer from '89. Other players of note in the '89 design, you got Glenn Rice and Sean Elliott. Mm-hmm. And I guess I didn't know this either, but Sean Kemp was drafted in the '89 draft, but doesn't appear until in the 1990 portion of this set. He went right from high school to the pros, didn't make a whole lot of impact that first year, so he is kind of thought of as a 1990 card, and I think that's the next one you got here in the slideshow.
It is, and it's the Frank Thomas rookie card design, and again, just a great look on a basketball card. Did not disappoint. Not the best Sean Kemp rookie card, quote unquote. I think the flair of him dunking is still one of the best looking cards of not just him, but any junk era basketball card. But this is a good one of him dunking again. He played above the rim, so why not capture him playing above the rim? Again, just a cool card, and it makes you think of the Frank Thomas rookie card, and that chase and the Ken Griffey Jr. rookie cup card too. 1990, not a great year for baseball, other than Frank Thomas and that Ken Griffey Jr. And you said Sean Kemp and Gary Payton was the other guy in this draft, so a couple of Supersonics, and then moving on to 1991, you got Grandmama.
Yeah,
you got Larry Johnson and all his UNLV running Rebel buddies, and got the same design as Chipper Jones rookie. Again, not a great year for baseball, but very simple design that year. Very simple design. The only thing missing from this card, I think, is like a baseball bat or a baseball, and you'd have the same card.
Yeah, a real basic design that year. The football, that was a nice, basically same design of football from that
That's
year
right.
as well. So the
That's
football
right.
card looked exactly as the baseball did. And that wasn't something that Topps had been doing, but in 91, they went with the same design for both cards. Larry Johnson was the number one pick, and as you mentioned, UNLV had 5 players drafted in that draft. George Ackles was the only one that never went on the court in a NBA game, but 5 guys drafted off of one team was pretty incredible.
Yeah, they had to take a pay cut to go to the NBA.
You got to believe George Ackles did for sure. But the only Hall of Famer this year in 91 was Dikembe Mutombo. He was the number 4 pick. Larry Johnson, just incredible collegiate player, but just kind of battled injuries throughout most of his professional career.
Yes, and that kind of wraps up the box. There was one card that was really high demand in the set, and we talked a little bit about the set, and that was the Shaquille O'Neal rookie card. It was a gold version, so it didn't come in the wax box. So if you're looking to get the Shaq rookie card, you're not going to find it in the wax box. It only came in the set, and the set was 150 cards, just like that. But this replaced, I think, one of the checklists. The checklist was number 150, and so they put Shaq in the gold card, and that was really the draw for the set, the factory set. And those factory sets, we talked about the boxes being affordable. The factory sets of just the gold version is about $400-$500 factory sealed. So again, achievable. You can get it. And those cards, when you look at the pop reports, those are obviously there's less grading happening with those cards, but still a good number of them have been sent in, and don't know exactly how the integrity of that box, but it looks like it was a firm box, and it was, again, factory sealed. You can see it had a Topps logo on the seal, but that was the one special difference, I should say, from the wax box to the set, was that Shaq rookie card.
Yeah, Matt, I think in the last few months, the price on those actually come down. You can get them right now for around $225.
Oh, really?
$40.
Okay.
The last few that have sold have been selling right around $225. But I just checked, and there's actually some buy it nows right now for like $240. So
okay, all right. So there you go. So they've come down quite a bit, and since even a couple months ago, because that's where I was tracking them. I've been looking more for the wax box, but the gold label had intrigued me too. So I hadn't looked at those in a while. So that's good news. Maybe I'm a buyer now when it comes to those sets, because you and I have talked, again, we've talked about the value that you can get from these cards. And it's, when you look at the number of them that have been graded and the number of cards that have been produced, we've talked about that. Now you start to look at the pop report. There have only been 7,200 of these cards graded, and many of those are gold cards. And so when you look at just the base out of the wax, so that number gets cut down. So when you look at those numbers on the pop report, what goes through your mind when you're looking at this from a hobby lens?
Well, most of these cards are under 100, and we're talking Hall of Fame type of players with under 100 for pop report for 1992 cards. So like we were saying before, if you're looking for something with low pop, I mean, you're definitely going to find it. The Jordan card has the majority of the graded cards in the set. Kind of pulling it up here right now. But yeah, the Jordan card, 4,000 of those graded, 459 10s, so a little bit better than 10% gem rate, 1,900 9s. And then in the gold, you're looking at 657 of them total graded, 87 10s. Yeah, 87 10s. But like you take a Olajuwon card, only 98 of them graded, 49 of the gold graded. You look at Stockton, 37, 26 graded in gold. Like I said, these things, you just don't find 1992 cards of these guys with this kind of pop report. And, we went real deep with the 1990 Fleer basketball about a year and a half ago, because we just looked at it. And at that time, the pop report there was incredible. And we were looking, a year and a half ago at Larry Bird cards that had, less than 100 graded. And now there's thousands. The Michael Jordan card, like I said before, there's like 30,000 of those things that have been graded. So you're looking at an opportunity here if you want to get into some real low pop stuff of stars. And that Michael Jordan card, the photo and the design is so iconic that card is just always going to have demand. I know
Absolutely.
It's not, it's obviously not a true rookie card, but just what it is, it's going to have demand. And the fact that you can buy a box of these things and probably get two of them for under $100, is crazy. And, the David Robinson card has 80 of them graded. Olajuwon, 75. The Olajuwon Gold, 29. There's just a ton of opportunity here for people that, you can go out and buy a box. I think Prism Football is coming out here pretty soon. I heard that's about $1,400 box. I can almost guarantee you if you bought 14 boxes of this, you're going to come out a lot better off than buying one of those.
I agree. And the cost and the value, when we look at some of these cards, you mentioned the pop reports. These are PSA 10s you can buy for $15 to $20 on some of these cards. The Scottie Pippen, the Charles Barkley, the Olajuwon's a little bit more pricey. I saw one for about $65, $70. The Michael Jordan obviously is the holy grail. That's about $400 or $500. You're around $1,000, $900 for a gold PSA 10. But those lower level guys, again, low pop, you can get the PSA 10s relatively cheap. And by cheap, I mean like $15, $20. Right. So if you don't want to go the box route, you don't want to open it, but you really like these cards and you want the highest grade available, go and find them. They're not the hard part though is it's hard to find. Right. As we've talked about, we've alluded to the number of cards that are out there. Where are they? Well, they're not graded. Maybe they weren't collected. Maybe these boxes sat around. There's a lot. That's the other thing. There's a lot of boxes of these cards available on eBay right now. So it's not like these are scarcities that pop up every once in a while. I think you can get your hands on them. It just depends on what you want to pay for them. Right. But I think there's a lot of opportunities. When we look at the pop report, Michael Jordan's card, again, number one by a wide margin, 4,000 graded. His gold card is number two with 657 graded. And then it goes to the Shaq gold card, which we were talking about, 538 graded. So even that card, small pop on a Shaq rookie that's truly unique. And then it goes, number four is Charles Barkley, 223 graded. Then it goes to Scottie Pippen, then Barkley gold under 100. And that's when we get, so the sixth most graded card is under 100, as you mentioned. Then we go to David Robinson at 7, Dominique Wilkins at 8, Hakeem Olajuwon at 9, and Dennis Rodman at 10. And that's a great list of iconic NBA players, again, on cards that look like art. They're unique to the hobby. If somebody's a Dennis Rodman fan and they don't know maybe this card exists, so they're chasing this card, and you have one of the 6 that are 10s out there, you're probably going to be able to name your price. And so that's the opportunity there when we look at the boxes. Those are the cards that people are going to be after. They're going to you got to find the right fan of the right player at the right time, and you're probably going to make some money based on all those things coming together.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, these are cards that kind of, even though they're made in 1992, they're going to take a lot of people back deep into the 1980s and remember these things. And I think they'll just appeal to a very wide range of people, people that right now are in their mid 50s, all the way to people, probably, in their late 30s. So you've got just a bunch of people that are going to be interested in this stuff. And again, like you said, a lot of it is finding stuff. And right now it's just a super weird time in the hobby, because if you go and look up these boxes and what's for sale, you're going to see a lot of them for sale for $250, $220 because people had priced them a year ago and they're just sitting out there. But if you look at the ones that have actually sold, they're anywhere from $60 to $100. So it just comes down to, like you said, you have a saved search, put that notification on your search. So when you see one come up that's not priced like it's February 2021, you can jump in on it but I mean, I'm seeing that with everything right now. Pretty much everything you look at on eBay right now, the prices of active listings are just so all over the place. And many of them are just way, way above where you're seeing actual sold comps. So that's something you got to look through and kind of wade through right now as well.
Yeah. And I I do look at these boxes when they pop up, and they pop up quite frequently. New posts, and I wonder sometimes if they're the ones that have expired and popped back up again like that as a new listing. One just the auction ran out. It was $80 plus $10.95 shipping. So you're looking at $91, and then you add some tax and all that other stuff. It's probably around $100. So I sent the guy a message. I said, "Would you do it for 70?" And on his relist, and he said no. So, but I'm sure somebody will be willing to take 70 soon here. But that was the thing that again, when we look at these cards and where things are priced, and that's why I looked at the gold set and I said, it was $400. That's what these were going for a couple months ago, or even a couple weeks ago. You just, now people are, looking to flip these cards or get rid of these or get rid of inventory and start making money. We've talked about this on a show a lot. Inflation is hitting people. They need to start moving things to get money flowing. And I think this is a perfect opportunity to wait it out. I think 65 with $10 shipping is a great price for this. That's kind of the target that I'm looking for. So if you can hit that target and get it lower, that to me is well worth the value, even though it's junk wax era, even though we're in this time of hobby uncertainty. I think that's a good number for this box. Are you a buyer there, Chris, or what's your number? Do you have anything in mind for this one?
Yeah, I think if you can find anything right now, under $100, I think there's definitely value. Certainly, if you're finding something at 70, I think that's definitely worth pulling the trigger on, because I feel like I remember kind of summer of 2020, I was just pouring 1991 Upper Deck boxes through my front door.
Yes,
I was buying
basketball.
Those, yeah, I was buying those for like $35 shipped. And I feel like these were selling for, 60 or 70 at that point. And that was kind of I guess, right at when the boom started, but kind of pre-peak. I feel like the peak of everything was February 2021. So I think at $60, $70, you're probably buying at the right spot. You and I are going to go to a card show this weekend, and maybe somebody will have one sitting there. I know it's getting to be, we go to these card shows and we're just seeing so much ultra modern stuff, but I love seeing this kind of stuff at the shows.
So it's funny you bring that up, because the last time I was at the show we're going to on Saturday, a guy had a box of this. And I said, "What's your price?" $225. So he was priced. He was the only guy with it. So again, he had, if somebody really, really wanted that, he had it for them.
Sure.
And that's value too.
Well, denial isn't just a river in Africa.
That's very true. He may be in I'm already in $200. You never know how much he bought it for, but he was priced a long time ago. So I said, "Thanks, appreciate it. It's cool to see it." Again, it was cool to see it right there. I mean, it was factory sealed, blah blah blah. Everything was great. $225. I said, I didn't even talk to him. I didn't say, what the comps are now, because again, I feel like that's disrespectful to the dealer, because he should know. He should know that that's what it is. But it is funny, Chris, that on a day when we posted a video about not buying wax, you and I are talking about buying this wax. And I think part of it is this is a good investment, we believe. But I also believe you will get a lot of joy and entertainment out of opening these packs. And we talk about that in that broadcast, in that podcast and video cast, is this is an entertainment. This is an entertainment buy right now. Opening wax. Don't expect to make all your money back and then some. And I think this box would be extremely entertaining to open.
Yeah, the other thing I'll say, and we did publish that video today. I went and bought a blaster box today at Target too. So,
what did you buy?
I bought it, and you and I have been talking about this. I think we're going to be doing a show here soon. I just felt like I needed to buy a box of Bowman U football. So
So
I have not bought a box of it. I've seen it a few times in a few stores. And
this is me. This is me hiding. But I bought 3 boxes today on Target too. .com. But it's because we talked about this specifically, but then you and I talked today, and we kind of talked ourselves out of it because there is some intrigue to some of the wax box, and it's $19.99 for the Bowman U. I know we're getting off target here, but this is something that we will be talking about on a different podcast. But back to this one, again, I think there's some entertainment, big time entertainment value with this wax box. Same with the Bowman U. I think there's a lot of entertainment value in some of those boxes as well. And I think if that's the way you're going to approach it, you're going to do better at the end of that box. If you're thinking, oh, I want 5 Jordans and I want them all PSA 10s, you can't approach it that way, because you might get one, and you might get 4 Mitch Richmonds, and so it's just that's just something you have to prepare for. But I think, again, I keep emphasizing, I think you'll really enjoy ripping this box.
Yeah, especially if you're in, like I said, that kind of mid-30s to mid-50s age. You're going to love this just because of the players and the designs. It's just going to be a lot of fun. One thing I will say, too, you talked about potentially pulling PSA 10s. We talked about bricking earlier. The other thing I'll say is this set is also notoriously badly cut as well. So off-center cards are pretty common in this set. And, we talked about this. It looks like it came off the same printing press as the Stadium Club cards of that era, which didn't have borders. So it was difficult to kind of pick out what was off center and what wasn't. With these cards showing those borders from those sets of bygone eras, very easy to pick out the off center cards, and you will find some in this set.
So as we prepare to put a bow on this video cast, podcast, live show, I'll ask you this, and I'll leave it here. What's your favorite card from this set that you looked at as prep?
It's got to be the Jordan. I mean, I'm a Jordan guy, and the 84 set, of course, with the Mattingly card kind of makes us all feel warm and fuzzy, but it just the photo on it kind of feels like some of those valuable Jordan cards that from 86 and 87 that we know. So it just has that feel to it. And I think if you just didn't know anything about basketball cards of this era, and I showed you that card and said, this is a Michael Jordan rookie and it's worth $50,000, you'd be like, yeah, that's probably about right. Like it looks like the real McCoy, even though obviously it isn't. So yeah,
I agree. I love that 84. I like the Akeem Olajuwon. To me, that the design of the Dominique Wilkins is awesome as well. And I like the 85s. I like the Ewings. I like the Reggie Millers, the Karl Malones. I like them all, and that's why I want to buy a box.
Right.
And I'm probably going to buy a box.
Yeah,
the price is right.
I was looking up some of the cards of kind of the lesser known players for prep, and even those cards are cool. And that's the thing about it is, I like that 88 set, 89 set, even though in baseball there's no value in them, but just the design of them, I just really enjoyed. So seeing those cards kind of just like you said, kind of is a warm and fuzzy feeling. So yes, it is. Well, I think that does it for this show. Thanks for listening as we talk through some basketball, during an era when basketball was 13 years away from tops, and all of a sudden they come back and they just launch this beauty on us. And so here we are, 30 some years talking about it again. So I always like to put a plug. If you listen to us on the podcast, we do have a YouTube channel where we do show our faces and we do show the cards that we're talking about. And like I said, this one is definitely worth checking out on YouTube just to look at these cards. And if you, for whatever reason, just go to eBay and look at these cards as well, because it's well worth it. And if you're a YouTube fan of ours, let us know in the comments. What do you think? What's your favorite card? We'd love to hear from you. Again, you can get your podcasts wherever you get your podcasts. So we're trying to be everywhere for everybody.
But we love hearing your feedback on YouTube. That's the best for a two-way conversation. So keep them coming. Keep the comments coming. Keep letting us know how we're doing, what you'd like to hear from us, maybe what you don't like about us too. Can't change our hairstyles. I apologize for that. But
we've tried.
We've tried. Yes, we've tried, but we can't. But when it comes to the hobby, we're always listening. And as you probably have learned, we kind of bounce from sport to sport when we have these Wednesday live shows. And so if there's a specific set you wanted to hear about or that you think is really cool, let us know. We'll take a look at it and see if it is something we want to talk about, because is one thing we talked about when we started the show, 30 some episodes ago, is we're not going to run out of content. There's enough sets to talk about for the end of time. So we know that there are some out there that people really enjoy, and we'd love to take a look at them if you guys think it's cool.
Yeah, this is episode 31, and we're definitely, we've got all the show ideas we need, but if you have something that you're interested in and you want us to talk about it, we'd love to hear from you. So for Matt, I'm Chris. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. This was episode 31 of the podcast. So we're making our way towards 100. Talk to you next time.